So she gave us different steps of the freak off. There's about 5 or 6 steps that she broke down. So she said that, at first.
God.
Dude, I'm sure there's like a freak off booklet.
Just do a couple lines, suck a couple dicks.
She says the male escort would get there, and Puff would help her choose the male escort, right? Like it would be allegedly Puff would help her choose the male escort. So there would be, photos sent to her through agencies, or she said they would even enlist on Craigslist at some points. If not Craigslist, she said at one point.
Shout out to Craigslist, Backpage, Leo List.
Imagine being the one who took that call.
Make Craigslist great again. Make Leo's page great again. Make Backpage great again.
I wonder what the posting was. Like BBC needed.
Yeah. No, seriously. No, that's what they were recruiting. Black men with big dicks.
Yeah, BBC needed New York or LA.
Yeah.
Pay on it.
They did Backpage, and she wouldn't put up the ad, but she would have to answer to the ad using her actual contact information, is what she said. So she said they would get they would figure out who the men would be. The prosecutor asked, were there any specific requests when you were finding these men? And she said at one point the only thing would be the man would have to be a black man with a big dick. She said but at a certain point it expanded,
which is
where,
all of
what I
us.
mean, they would just pick the men together. So descriptive foreplay would be first. So the guy would come in, they would be touching each other, masturbating, and she would have to out loud describe everything to Diddy, whether he was in the room or not. Then it will go to step 2, which would be touching. So at this point, they're rubbing baby oil on each other, lubricant. But she says that there was like a thing with the baby oil. Like there was like almost like an alleged like fascination where they would oil almost every 5 minutes, because that's what Diddy wanted. He wanted you to be oiled to a certain extent. She made it very clear that they were a very choreographed event.
You know what I was thinking? Do you think that's why, like...
His skin was always, like, pretty good?
No, like, the music videos were always shiny?
I was going to say, his skin looked really, really nice and shiny. Like, majority of the time.
Yeah, his skin is one thing, but you remember the Diddy videos from back in the day? It was very shiny.
Yeah.
It looked very baby oil-esque.
You can say that.
Yeah.
Because that's what Diddy wanted. He wanted you to be oiled to a certain extent. She made it very clear that they were a very choreographed event. It's so crazy because when she described the freak offs, I'm not even gonna hold y'all, I was like, it sounds like he was directing a music video, which I mean sound like that. Like
music videos were shiny.
It would only be like,
You planned that.
there would be a ton of baby oil and different lubricants, and it would be really messy because there'd be lubricant and oil everywhere, candle wax everywhere. But and these were actually smell good candles. She said that he always wanted to make sure it smelled really good, and she said that eventually the candles moved from candles to actual like lighting, like studio lighting or almost like party lighting. And they showed a photo of Puff in the court in a background that just like the red light that you would get from like Amazon. But she said that these were actually actual studio lights that could change on demand to different colors. She says that she alleges that Puff would even step in sometimes and be like, yo, y'all not oiled enough, like y'all need to oil more. Step 3 would then go to oral sex. She says that sometimes she would even like speed it up. Like she's alleged.
Quick thing, did you see the headline that she used to get sores on her mouth? She would have to take antibiotics for the sores on her mouth because she gave oral sex so much and the antibiotics stopped working. Like, yo, the headlines for this case is so crazy. I feel like the Shade Room is running this whole courtroom shit. Because I'm like, what does this have to do with human trafficking and racketeering?
It has nothing to do with it.
It's just like, yo,
Here's
debauchery after debauchery. Unless they're going after his character.
I think that's what they're doing in the beginning. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I believe, personally, that he's going to walk.
I mean, shit.
Like also, I read online. Majority of the people on the jury are everyday people from around the way.
Yeah.
People from around the way.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, "Yo, this guy's rich. This guy's rich and famous. Mm-hmm. He has kinks. Leave him alone." And that's how he's probably gonna walk away.
Yeah.
Because this is this seems like
but the framing is that Cassie wasn't a willing participant in these freak offs. He pressured her to do it or brainwashed her to do it. But I guess Diddy's team is saying, well, here are text messages of you saying you're excited to do the freak offs, you want to do the freak offs, you love doing the freak offs.
And he's smart to keep it. He's smart to keep it too.
Yeah, but then again, she could also say, well, he brainwashed me. Like, he forced me. This is what he wanted me to say. So,
at certain points, she wouldn't want to be doing it so bad that she would speed up the touching just to get to the oral sex so she could get it over with. And then step 4 would be the actual intercourse. Now, she said, depending on how familiar they were with the escorts, because they had some of their favorites. They listed a couple people that they dealt with a couple times, including the man who allegedly was in the room the day that the day that video that dropped on CNN happened. That escort is from a company that they work with all the time, and he was actually a familiar escort as well. If he was even in the room, because that's alleged, right? But she said that he was today. But depending on how familiar they were with these escorts, one of the escorts will be able to actually have sex with her while Diddy was having sex with her. So when she broke that down, she said, like maybe one guy would be like having sex with her while she's giving puff head, or vice versa. She just said it would be a lot going on. She said now there were certain times where Diddy would just want to watch, or even if he didn't watch, it would be a thing where they would have to come on her. And again, we've heard the male escort that was on the stand, I feel like some of her testimony today kind of made him not look as crazy, because Cassie said in her testimony today, she alleged that whenever they would come, when they did come on her, Diddy would want her to keep it. They would go into a separate room and she would have to rub it on him.
I think that might actually be gayer than having sex with a man.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. I think Diddy has so many layers to himself that I don't think he was even comfortable enough to have sex with a man in front of her.
Dude, this is so crazy. This dude has like
So many
every
layers.
sex demon you could think of. Like,
So many layers. So many
it's
layers.
so bad.
I don't think he even fucked a man in front of her ever.
It's so bad. This guy went into a next room. She had semen on her, and he would want Cassie to take the semen off of herself and put it on his nipple.
So
this nigga's walking around with dried up shit looking like he's lactating.
So Diddy is a cuck.
Absolutely. That's official. He's a cuck. Gay? Having another man semen on your nipples?
I would say...
Does he go in the gay category?
No. I would say that's like voyeurism, or like he's...
Nah, he's gay.
I think he's on the trail. I think he's curious. Bi-curious.
There's nothing curious about it. He's doing it. He's gay. All right.
Diddy would want the escorts to come on his body, and I believe she said it was on his nipples. Yes, Diddy allegedly would want the cum on his chest or his nipples. She said at some points the freak offs could go with allegedly 1 to 4 different men, and they would do different sessions. So it'd be different men, different sessions throughout the time period, and it would last for hours. And she said sometimes as she was being fucked, or even afterward, like they would have conversations about it, and Diddy would ask her allegedly about the penis. Like he would ask her, how did it feel? What did it look like? How did it make her feel? And she also admitted during this, and I know that the prosecution, the defense is going to lean in a lot on this. She admitted to having a lot of the freak off videos on her phones. She says that it wasn't just on her devices though either. She says that it was shared. Like sometimes she'd do it on her phone, sometimes she'd do it on his phone. It would be on camcorders. She alleged that it was between the two of them already. So within the first 10 minutes, she was already emotional and crying, but it wasn't like a hard, crazy cry. It was like a, just her.
Could you imagine being Cassie's husband? And I don't know.
I heard homie left the room.
Yeah, probably.
Homie
and
left
hearing
the room.
a lot of this information for the first time.
I heard homie left the room in rage.
Let me ask you a question. Would you be able to stay with your woman if you heard a lot of these situations for the first time, like her having sex with...
Can you say 30 million?
20 million?
20 million?
Yeah. But still, like, a man's ego is a man's ego.
Look, I don't know, man. If I was in the situation, I don't know what I would do. Mm-hmm. I just don't know what I would do. I don't know. It's crazy.
She was tearing. She was tearing. She was actually really, really strong. Like, I was actually pretty surprised at how strong she was with all the circumstances, right? Because you got to think about it. She's sitting not only in front of Puff, who's looking straight at her the whole time, directly straight at her the whole time, but she's sitting in front of his family, his mother, his children, some of the other children's moms that she has spent so much of her life with and built so many of these memories, good and bad, with. She mentioned a lot of drugs. Said that at one point during the freak offs, they were so high that they lasted for like 3 days. And she said, and the prosecutors asked her, well, at what point would you sleep? She said, I would.
That's crazy.
I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Like, there were a lot of moments where she had some explaining to do. Like, there was text messages where she texted and said she wanted to freak off so bad, and this was the day of the video, the CNN video, the Cassie beating video. She talked about just all of the supplies that they would have, body oil, baby oil, candle wax, extra linens. She said there'd be blood on linens because a lot of times she was made to have sex on her period and she didn't want to. She alleges that she didn't want to. She says that there'd be a lot of times where there'd be urine on her and on the linen. And she said and she alleged that at some points it wouldn't even just be male escorts that would be peeing on her, that it would be Diddy and male escorts at the same time sometimes.
Okay.
Imagine being the male escort.
I feel like I need to go to church after hearing all of that.
Yeah.
That is just so crazy.
Demonic.
Like, dude,
It's demonic.
don't get me wrong. I love sex. He loves sex. We love the, but dude, this is on a whole nother level, bro. 3 days of fucking, no sleep, peeing, period.
I wonder who he learned this
Semen
behavior
nipples?
from. I wonder who he learned the behavior from. That's what I'm curious about.
Bro.
Who introduced him to this behavior?
So I guess the question is, at what point does Cassie get held accountable for her own actions, right? Because I see a lot of people saying, well, I think she enjoyed a lot of this. She
must
initiated a lot of it.
She must have.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm willing to go that far.
How long was she with him?
10 years, and she met him when she was really young. She was 22.
Yeah.
And we saw videos.
That's still not
They
young.
released a 50-minute video of him, like, just beating the hell out of her. One of the escorts said that he could no longer perform with them after he saw Diddy beat her. So there's obviously a violent tendency where Diddy, his way of maintaining control was physical violence. So it is believable that, she did a lot of the things and said a lot of these things because out of fear, because she knew it was required of her to do. She knew it was her job to initiate these freak offs to make him happy. Another part of it, I'm sure she loved him at that point. And on top of that, she signed a 10-album deal. She only did one album. So she was kind of like under contract in a way too as well. And that's a crazy deal. Signing for 10 albums is insane. That's literally your entire life.
And no albums came out.
Only one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, with me and you on it?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
So I don't. Oh man, it's bad. I don't know how his kids are sitting through all of this.
Apparently, his kids left. His family left the room when she was testifying as well.
Yeah. What do you even say to your daughters?
Oh, his daughters left the room too as soon as she started testifying.
Yeah, but they're gonna hear about it. They're gonna get bullied. They're like, dude, it's so bad. This dude needs therapy because
help.
Yeah, like that amount of sex and just
So his baby mom, Gina Quinn,
perverted shit.
His baby mom's Gina Quinn, the new girl. She also testified
On behalf of
Herself.
the defense or the prosecution?
prosecution.
What did she say?
She alleged that he also physically assaulted her, abused her, including stomping her and punching in the back of the head, emotional and mental abuse, coercion regarding pregnancy. He offered her $5,000 to terminate the pregnancy.
All of that is believable. I'm sorry, man. Like,
Yeah.
when the allegation of violence is being made against Diddy, it's all believable because we seen the video, and they released the hotel video, 15 minutes long, and I watched the majority of it. And yeah, this dude was going off. He was going off. He was in full demon mode. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. But yeah, I'm exhausted, man. Just hearing some of these headlines and seeing it, man, I feel like, I got gonorrhea just reading the details. It's crazy.
I think we all got secondhand gonorrhea.
Yeah, we all got STDs. Paying attention to this shit.